You said that we should go back to our life and deal with things, to live. The search itself is making a problem.
You can come a little closer, no problem.
Now I'm living, an ordinary life, okay? Dealing with the responsibility that life gave me. Yeah. I can say that I stopped the search. I'm trying to live with acceptance. But when there is no search, what I feel is that many times I forgot. I forget about it. Life is so intense, and I feel maybe nothing is moving. No change is happening.
What kind of change you expect?
You were talking about maybe in the beginning, out of 10 events, you remember in 2 events to accept, and then maybe 3 or 4. And after, you said for you it took 10 years.
But still you are accepting with a purpose. To reach to some state which you have in the mind, which you call the state of bliss or state of silence or state of joy. I am saying that you will be connected to the life when it is offering you joy, you are happy. Life when it is offering you pain, you will be in pain. But in that state of reaction, if you are centered in that understanding that this is the way it is, not other than you are demanding, then that disturbance will not make you disturb. You will be aware of the disturbance. This will be the difference. The problem is, if you are still translating your previous search, which you are searching through some technique, through some method, which you call search, by doing something, now you are converting this acceptance also as if it is a means, it is a technique. Acceptance is a result of understanding. The understanding is, this is the way life is. The way you carry the responsibility, the way you carry all your responses, what life demands. In that, if you are remaining into the state of understanding that you have no freedom to change anywhere, if you still desire to bring a change or desire to come to some state which you call a transformation or whatever you call it, transformation is not changing the events or changing the life. Transformation is the inner transformation which slowly will bring you to that state of relaxation along with this momentum, the flow, the change, whatever is happening around. Now the problem is, you are expecting results so quick. The problem is this: it is such a slow transformation that you will not be aware with yourself, but the people will start feeling you that you are not the same.
8 years, it's a long time.
Maybe, you see, your mind is still hard, so strong. You see, who knows how much it takes. Maybe for him it takes 20 years, who knows. But then you see, why do you count in time? My question is, why do you count in time? It is not something like the must that you should at least have 10 years or 15 years. I am not saying this. It depends upon how hard your mind is, and it depends upon how you are getting some understanding out of your own acceptance, out of your own living. This is very important. That means how much you are awake to that point where every event in the life gives you some message, some understanding, and are you absorbing the understanding? At that moment you are waiting for that state to come. So the whole thing is misunderstood. You understand what I am saying?
I'm not sure.
Now when your question itself reflects that now your search ends, that means you have stopped doing before what you are doing, meditations or some techniques, following some techniques or something which you stopped. You are now started practicing the acceptance, isn't it? So this practicing
I
acceptance,
don't know if I can say practicing, because acceptance, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is not something you can practice.
yeah, but then again and again you are you reminding yourself to say yes?
Sometimes.
You see, this is where you have to remind yourself, because how do you get the understanding is reminder. When it is there, that means somewhere you have understood the effect of that acceptance. Otherwise, then see, from living from there, you are living an ordinary life. Everybody is living an ordinary life. Ordinary life means I am saying that not the changing of life, but changing your inner understanding, which will be connected to the ordinary life. It has to be connected to the ordinary life. People are trying to change the life. I am saying don't change the life, remain an ordinary life, the way life is. But add the understanding, and that understanding is keep yourself awake to this truth that you have no freedom to change. So when you have no freedom to change, that understanding itself result into the acceptance. You see, your question is that ordinary life means the ordinary way, as before you were disturbed, you are disturbing now. You are the same. That's what you are saying?
Not the same, but
But then what do you expect? It's not going to a day where you will say, wow, I got it. See, it will be a very smooth sailing along with the whole problem of life. It will be very easy, where you will be comfortable, you will be relaxed, you will be that. Then slowly, that understanding will slowly take you beyond the area of your limit of understanding. That will make you more and more deeper understanding will start coming. Of the events happening, you will have a deeper understanding. So I am not exactly understanding what you want to say. You are not able to express also properly.
I understood she had some fear maybe to get lost in the ordinary life. So,
No.
yes, no, wait, yes.
yeah, if I look at, let's say, at my parents, okay, they never search anything, okay, they live the life, they don't even think about it, okay. And I ask myself now, when I'm living also my life, what is the difference?
So you want a difference in the ordinary life to be changed into extraordinary life?
No.
Then what change you demand? Difference is the inner difference, not the outer difference. You see.
You said that if someone never thought of it, it cannot happen to him, right?
That means?
If someone never started the search, then he cannot wake up.
I never said this.
No?
Search is not my problem. I say when you stop the searching, it starts bringing you to the normal harmony of life. So it is not necessary that everybody has to start search and then they are going to it. Search is the hindrance.
No, but everybody begins the search and then the search ends.
Everybody is beginning with the search, but the search is in a different direction. The base is somewhere you are not happy the way you are, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody is then having the different answer, and that answer takes them into different direction of search. Somebody is searching money, somebody is searching power, somebody is searching something else, and the spiritual people in the end search for the enlightenment. Search is in the direction of the answers that you are convinced with. That if I get this, I will be free from my unhappy state. This is with everyone. The search is with everyone, but the directions are different. But we only tell the search means the spiritual search. It is not true. Any search. Search means something other than what is there. To find something other than what is there. It is a search. So search is with everyone. So everybody begins with the search because that is what they call it life. Whole struggle that they have in the life is nothing but to reach to that point where they are searching to reach. You see. So if you are saying that when nobody is searching, it is not that nobody is searching, but in your language they are not spiritual seekers. You see, they are not spiritual seekers.
But you ask me, do you remind yourself? Right?
Yeah.
How should I remind myself?
The moment you come to know that you have forgotten of accepting, again tell yourself, okay, fine. It's not reminder of that I have to accept, but reminder that okay, fine. So then you go into, if you don't remind or if you don't remember that okay, fine, then you go into guilt or you go into a reaction or some kind of inner disturbance that I forgot, I should not have forgotten. I said whenever you remember that you have forgotten, at that moment say yes, okay, fine, that is okay. So that will bring you to that slowly. But the problem is, like, you know, that we have a definition of the life that we want to live, we want to reach, we want to achieve. In that, if you still not able to drop it, then every time you are going to compare that have I reached through this, have I reached through this, then it is the same journey. Before you were comparing by doing meditations, now you are comparing by practicing acceptance. But there is no comparison because you are not going to become somebody.
But what she wants is to see that she accepts more events in a day than before.
Okay.
If I understood. And this is not happening for her. She cannot see any change in the more events of.
So maybe she has gone back into this some kind of non-acceptance of not accepting. You see, possible.
I didn't go back because I was never in front.
So you have to see by yourself. You have to see. So even when I am saying that it took me 10 years, it does not mean that everybody has to take 10 years. It is not necessary. It is not the law that it takes so long. It can be very fast also.
But after 8 years, she.
But don't you find any change in her? I see the change.
Yeah, I see also, but she cannot see. So
but that is the problem, you know. You see, that is the problem, because if she is changed, so 60% suppose, so 40% she is looking to that 40%, not looking to the 60%. You are not the same when you begin and now.
Nobody after 8 years is the same.
Nobody in your inner state, I am not saying that. This inner understanding, inner relaxation, inner disturbance that does not happen as it was happening before. You see. But normal disturbance that is created by the life's movement and change is going to happen to everyone. You see. So don't think that you are going to escape that natural reaction. But the natural reaction creates, because of the non-acceptance, a chain of reaction. There you will see that there is a change. There is a change happening. There you are relaxed. Here we are not talking about some kind of achievement through some technique. Here we are talking about the healthy state of your being. How we can come back to that healthy state where you are in balance. Where the life, same life, ordinary life is outwardly same, but inwardly, as you were remaining into the unconsciousness where you were getting disturbed, and that disturbance was creating a lot of disturbance inside, where you were all the time in the state of suffering, will change. I don't know whether I make it clear. Unfortunately, I am talking to the people who are spiritual seekers, you know. The ordinary people understands very well.
Spiritual seeker. I'm not.
You know, you were.
I'm not sure. What do you think about using some means, some things to remember?
You can put an alarm clock. Some means what?
I don't know. Maybe not.
You can devise some technique that will be helpful to all. But according to my understanding, anything that you devise is coming from the same mind where we are trying to silence it. That is the problem. The doer wants to survive. I am not against the doer, but doer has to be created by the life itself whenever the doing is required by the life. We are creating a permanent doer, a permanent mind where you are constantly into that state of reaction, 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 reaction.
We had a meeting once with a guy, and every I don't know 3 minutes or 5 minutes, his watch was
Ringing
ringing.
to remind
After a
him.
few times we asked him what's going on. So he said, I just want to remind myself to be in the moment. We almost did business together.
Kiran, for example, Guruji, when he talks about the crystallization, he's talking about this witnessing or awareness to become so strong so that we don't forget to be present each moment. This can be achieved by, because he was giving you some technique to be aware that you at the same time constant, and that needs a lot of effort and also a lot of willingness. Do you think this can be helpful to become more aware so that you, for example, each moment we can accept whatever life brings?
I have not found yet any technique to because what Gurdjieff started dealing with the mind, you know, and to bring the mind into a certain discipline where you, by practicing that, the mind can remain awake, available. That through the practice you can train the mind. You see, you can train the mind to bring the whole attention to one point. This is a concentration. Concentration can be brought through any kind of practice, but that concentration is a part of the mind's focusing. So Gurdjieff was mainly asking people to practice bringing mind to one point, and that bringing mind to one point was to him was to remain awake, to hear now. You see, that was his understanding. But then you see, my question is that even by practicing this, does it change your inner understanding? Okay, you are successful in bringing the mind to that point, but does it have any effect on that actual reality the life is? You see. So what is happening is that because of the practice of focusing at one point or keeping your mind awake to one point, available to one point, then you can be more efficient in your work, where while working your mind moves from here to there, and then you are not able to concentrate. It can help you in your studies, it can help you in your work. So that way it can help you there. So that can benefit. But then when you have to find out the answer of the problems, of the challenges when life brings, does it bring any understanding there? That is my question. And this is where the problem, what we call the point where we are disconnected, the point where we are disturbed with the life, we forget to bring the balance. So those who practice Guruji techniques, they are very sharp. They are very sharp with the intelligence, very sharp with the mind. But that sharpness does not be useful to that point, you know. That is the problem. I did it. I know it, you see. You understand what I am saying? So any technique can train the mind, you know. Any technique can train the mind. For all these means are meant to train the mind. But then it is still the mind. The problem with the harmony that we do not get with the life is that point where we are not comfortable with life, is that we do not understand it. You see, we do not understand. So what brings the understanding is you have to be there. If you want to understand somewhere, you have to accept that and stay with it. In that staying, the real understanding, the way life functions, you stay with your mind, and real understanding where the mind functions happens. And that understanding, which is the nature of your consciousness, will help you to remain into the balance. This is where I am working with. But if your mind is fickle mind and you are not able to concentrate in any work, you are not good in studies, you are not good at work, then all these techniques can help you to be efficient. But that efficiency does not come to your help when actual life problems creates such a strong disturbances. You see. You understand what I am saying? This is the difference. Otherwise, to be here now means not to concentrate here now, you know. To be here now means to be in harmony with that what is now creating this momentum, this change. That's why this is the wrong expression also, to be here now. If you try to be here now, you miss the now. You cannot catch now. You can be now, but you cannot catch now, you see. Because now is not separate from that flow of life which is flowing inside and flowing outside. But we are using a wrong language that I have to be here now. So then you translate in a mind's language of something to do. Now the moment you try to be here now, you are already gone. So that without any desire, without any purpose, or without any motive, when you are in that state itself connects you to here now. And that is what I call the acceptance. In that acceptance, you are conscious, you are aware of that what is creating the vibrations outside the event happening and the reactions inside the mind, you are conscious of. You understand what I am saying? But Guruji have tried his level best. At least bring people, at least Western mind, to come to one point, Make more sharp, more efficient. All techniques, dealing with the mind, definitely makes mind more stronger, more sharp, more efficient. These are the techniques. At the same time, more weak. More weak. The strength, when the mind becomes strong, it is a weak mind. Because at that point, the mind is weak at the point of life. Then you have to fight a strong, hard nut, you become very strong, and that is a weakness in that definition. Then that strong mind becomes the hindrance. The unfortunate part is that from the childhood to now, the whole technique, methods, the way the whole thing is trained, the taught, is in the direction of making the mind more sharp, more efficient, more strong. This is how. Because why it is so? Because the misunderstanding is, if I fight with life, then this strong mind can be useful to bring a change. But the truth is, you have no freedom to bring a change. Now what will you do? You are creating a mind, you are making a mind, strong mind, with all the techniques, with all the practice. But that strong mind becomes a hindrance. Because when you connect to the life, there the strong mind becomes a fighter. Because the mind only survives unless it is in the non-acceptance. You see. And the non-acceptance point is the way it is creating the reaction. The life is creating some event there, and that natural event is creating a reaction. That is natural. So this natural reaction, immediately, because the natural reaction may be painful, may be joyful, it is depending upon the events happening. So this joyful or painful events, how does the mind approach it? With a choice. I like it, I don't like it. I want it, I don't want it. So then, this strong mind, if it doesn't want, goes to reject. And if it is joyful, the strong mind wants to possess, wants to continue for a longer time. Now, do you have that freedom, any freedom here, to control it, to change it? No. So then how do you get the reaction again? Your failure to change, failure to bring about a freedom, you are not successful. Then the another chain of reaction starts, is the tension, the stress, the pain and the suffering. You are caught into this chain of reactions. You understand? So our life, if you look with the mind, is the story of reaching to the end suffering, isn't it? And that is the state where we are all. And still we believe that by strong of effort, with strong mind, we will fight and we will win over one day. So that day never comes in the life. And this is the reality. So if you understand the truth behind, that if you have no freedom, you have no freedom to change the events happening outside, but you have been told that you have freedom to change the reaction happening inside. You understand? So that reaction is also a natural point which is just happening because of the outside activations. Outside activations. So if you understand that as the event is natural, the reaction is natural, first reaction is natural, then you will be free from the chain of reactions which has come out of your misunderstanding to bring a change, to fight with it. And this is what I call the acceptance. accepting the way it has created the event, it has created the reaction. Is it clear? So this is where you don't need mind, you need understanding. What is the understanding? As every satsang I am repeating, understanding is understand even with your now logical mind that the life has its own nature. It functions by its own nature. And the reaction point is that point which is also in relation to that event happening, is also automatically happening. Automatically happening. So if this is your understanding that this is also automatically happening, if somebody abuses me, the anger is going to come as a natural reaction. But what is happening is that strong mind becomes angry on the anger, that this anger should not be, because if there is an anger, it is a disturbance. So you are becoming angry on the anger, so you are trying to reject it. Rejection not possible, then you try to suppress it. And that how long you can go on suppressing all chain of reactions that you accumulate, and at one time it becomes a disease. So what psychological disease that normally people suffering from is because of this whole misunderstanding. So then there is no way that a human being can be relaxed. This is the story, then all the human beings are suffering, everybody is suffering, then suffering is the only meaning of life, then why there is a Buddha who was relaxed? Why there was somebody enlightened who was relaxed? If one Buddha can be relaxed, there is somewhere we have not understood the secret. So what is that secret which they have understood and I have not understood is the question. Is the question. So if you are really, really keen, really, really thirsty, really, really tired of all that what you did, then you start again rethinking that there must be a way out. There must be a way out. If one Buddha can be relaxed, if one Osho can be relaxed, if one Mahavira, Krishna and Jesus can be relaxed, what is wrong with me? But the mind says they are superhuman beings. Mind has an excuse that they were superhuman beings and you are an ordinary person. How it is possible? So you make a compromise again. And in that compromise, you lead the whole life. Whole life you lead the same way. My question is, if one Buddha can be relaxed, it is available to everyone. Only what requires is, what was that understanding which changed the same ordinary Buddha into a relaxed Buddha? You see. So the approach we have to change. Approach we have to change. That is what Buddha has stated, 4 ways. He says life is suffering. Sarvam dukkham dukkham. That is the experience of all. Everything is misery, everything is suffering. And that is our experience. Sarvam dukkham dukkham. But then he says, there is a cause of suffering. So he doesn't jump to immediately to that point that there is a remedy of suffering or freedom from suffering. He goes step down. There is a cause of suffering. That means try to find out the cause of the suffering. That means try to find out the cause of a disease. This is a scientific approach. Buddha's 4 ways is a scientific approach. Any problem that you want to solve, how do you approach to that problem? You understand the cause of that. But normally the mind goes in finding out the solution. Normally. If you are unhappy, your mind is just immediately jumping to how can I be happy? Then you go in search of happiness. How can I be happy? What can make me happy? Then you go into that direction of finding out means of happiness or who will give me the happiness. This is the approach of mind. In between, Buddha says you have to find out the cause of unhappiness. So there you have not to go into the direction of finding out the solution, but understanding the problem. That is a scientific way. Have you ever thought this way, that let me question my own suffering? Why I am suffering? Why I am miserable? What is the cause of it? That is a scientific way. Then in investigating, in inquiring into the cause of suffering, you will find the remedy of suffering, because it will reveal by itself. Once the cause is revealed, automatically it will give you the understanding what can be the remedy. If you understand the remedy, then Buddha says last step is there is a freedom from suffering. This is the end. So in between two, we don't do it. That is what I am saying, that understand the cause of it. Understand the cause of it. And that needs your own self-inquiry. That needs your own sitting with yourself. So where is the technique now? Technique is not there. It is not that you need a very strong mind to look into. You need somewhere a inner state where you see clearly the way it is happening. How can you see clearly unless you accept it? Unless you confront your own misery, suffering, your own problem, there is no way to understand it. When Krishnamurti was asked, he says, if you want to be free from fear, look at the fear. Look at the fear. That means what? Looking at the fear is what? Is to accept first that you have to sit with this fear. That come on, let's sit together and let us see that how we can deal with it. But if you run away from the fear, or if you do something at that time to escape from the fear or to fight with the fear will not go, because you are not treating the cause. The beautiful example is in the dark room, something is hanging on the wall, and then it looks like a snake in the dark room. And when you have the old memory of a snake, the fear comes immediately. That snake, maybe snake bites me, maybe I die. So that fear comes automatically into the dark room. Now you have a fear now, which is born out of the ignorance or not seeing clearly what is actually hanging there. But that hanging, what is reflecting, it looks like a snake. So when you are having a reaction of fear, at that moment, what will you do? Normally, what mind does? It starts searching for a stick. How to protect myself from this snake? Or at the most, how to find a door where I run away? This is what the mind is doing, because you don't realize that you have to question the fear. You have to stay with the fear. That there is a fear, okay, fine, you accept the fear. Then in that acceptance, there will be an inner understanding will tell you that, let me see very clearly what exactly is this. So you will not run away, or you will not try to fight with this snake. Prepare yourself with a stick and fight. You will see that, let me see, and then you will understand the cause of this whole illusion is the darkness. So either you will open the window, or you will try to find out the switch where you can see through the light. Once you find the light, because the cause of the illusion was the darkness. If you find the light, when you see that it is just a rope hanging on the wall, do you have to deal with the fear? Fear disappears. Now you will sit there, now let me deal with my fear. When it goes away, you don't know. The same reaction that we are having in our life, that's something which is born out of our ignorance, out of our non-clarity, out of our non-understanding, creates lot of ghosts. And we are all the life fighting with this ghost, which is not actually existing there. The snake does not exist there, but we are fighting. What you need is the clarity. What you need is the light. And that light is available every connection with the life. There you find some clarity. And for that, you have to accept the natural reaction which has come. Maybe out of your ignorance, maybe out of misunderstanding or non-understanding. But you have to accept. You have to accept the fear. Then you will not say that why fear comes. It will naturally come. It will naturally come. The natural reaction is going to come. But if you have the understanding, and that understanding, for that understanding you need some time to stay with whatever is. You have to stay in the darkness, you have to stay with the snake, and you have to stay with your fear. That is what I call the acceptance. Then in that staying, there will be somewhere a command which tells you, find out the light. It will give you the understanding of the cause of it. Then slowly, if you start seeing really the reality, the truth of all that is a reaction, all that is snake in your, and all that fear that you collect, once you start seeing clearly, you are going to be free from. Automatically. You are not to do something other technique to be free from. It goes away, because that is the illusion. That is the fear was an illusion, but it was real when you are feeling the fear. You are trembling, you are perspiring, but it was very real. But that reality is because of the illusion. That is the way this whole life, if you want to get a transformation of the life, then this is the beginning somewhere. That accept the way it is happening, accept that there is a snake. Okay, fine. If there is snake, there is a snake. Accept that there is a fear. There is a fear. But then stay with the fear, stay with the snake, stay with the darkness. And then in that staying, which I call the state of acceptance, you will get the clarity of the truth, the reality. And this is how slowly, if you understand the causes, understand the remedy of it, then you are going to be free. And that is what we are all longing for, that freedom. But that is only possible unless you reach to that state of clarity. And that clarity has to be yours, nobody's clarity. Even if somebody tells you from the outside that why you are afraid, there is no snake, it is just a rope, but you are not clear. Still you are going to be in the same situation. Who knows? Maybe it's a snake. Borrowed knowledge does not. Or somebody outside, one master standing outside, he will say, close the eyes and tell yourself there is no snake, there is no fear, no snake, no fear. Close your eyes, sit in meditation, tell yourself no snake, no fear. The moment you open the eyes, there is a snake and there is a fear. You can go into some hypnotic state by putting that suggestion that there is no snake, there is no snake, there is no fear, there is no fear, but doesn't change anything. The moment you confront it, it is still real for you.
Is it the same as a mantra? People giving a mantra?
Yeah.
It's like a lullaby.
Yeah, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman, but the moment you are open the eyes, you are as ordinary as before. Doesn't change anything. We are concerned with that transformation. And how does that transformation come? That transformation comes more and more you are connected to that understanding. The more and more you are understanding that transformation inside. That means that whole further chain of reactions of finding out the stick or running away will be finished. You get me what I am saying? Is it clear? I am singing the same song every time.
What I see, what I recognize what he says is like the struggle of the mind is so strong.
It is because we have been trained that way. We have been from the childhood trained that way, because the people who trained us, the people who gave us this conditioning, the people who gave us these answers, also living in the same illusory state.
Yes.
So they know that how to find the stick and how to run away. Only two means they have. Only they just try to now find out a new stick, maybe a very strong stick that you can just do. But that doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, we're so conditioned to stand up for our own right.
Pardon?
We are so conditioned to stand up for our own right, like this is my right. To stand
Unless you are tired of it,
Yeah.
you are tired of fighting, you are tired of running away, and you are tired of this whole frustration inside, that state of misery, at certain time you just start realizing that, is it this life?
Okay, then I'm tired. But then the struggle is still somehow.
It will not go overnight. That's what I'm saying. But at least when you understand something, you can begin somewhere. You can begin. That is what she was asking, that she has been doing since last 7 years. But then it depends how much you take the time, or maybe if you are very intelligent, very much tired, then it can change within no time. But then there is nothing connection with the time limit, that please tell me that how many years or how many months that I have to. But at least I tell you that if you practice seriously for 3 months, you will start getting the effects that what I am sharing. I have no magic stick in my hand.
They don't exist.
It is something that you have to do with yourself. And that's up to you, how you do it, how serious you are about it. It's very easy for the mind to go into the direction of doing something. Very easy. Because then the mind is happy. You are also happy that one day you live with hope that one day I will be free. But that day never comes. That is the question. So you don't fix a time limit that I will do my meditations for 3 years, 5 years, and then I will see is there any change. There you just go on doing whole life. It is like you take medicine whole life and you wait that for that day that disease will be gone because you trust the doctor. But do you do this? After 3 months when you are not cured, you go again to the doctor asking him, the doctor, I am taking medicine for 3 months and nothing is changing. Then doctor will again think that is there any wrong with the diagnosis or medicine, or doctor may be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? But that much intelligence we have at this area, but we don't deal with our own life problems in this scientific way. There you are just happy and you are ready to live with a hope. And each day which is going is not going to come back. So it's a waste. So if it is giving you some kind of relief every month, day by day, then you can think that, yeah, slowly it will affect. But at least it has to start somewhere. You understand what I am saying? It is hard, I understand. It is difficult, I understand. Because there is no mind involved. Everything is easy when the mind is involved, the doer is involved. Here there is no doer involved. And that is why it is difficult. But it is not impossible. Because you are not the mind, you are that consciousness. You have to understand the trick when the consciousness becomes free from this whole identification with the mind. Once it is free, then it becomes a witnesser, and in that witnessing you understand so many things, because that is the nature of consciousness. We spend whole life in dealing with the mind and dealing with the disease of mind. But we don't understand actually the cause of that disease. So then every time you take a painkiller and you get a temporary relief and you are happy. That's all. There are so many painkillers and tranquilizers and purgatives and so many things available in the market which gives you immediate relief. So you take it, you get the relief and you are happy. So you get addicted to that painkiller or tranquilizer every day. You see. But that's not the healthy sign. You are not treating the disease, you are just suppressing it.
It's a weakness.
Yeah. But as you have no other alternative and no understanding, then at least this is better. Better than nothing, better to suffer than to take a painkiller and temporarily get a temporary relief, that's all. And this is how we compromise. Our life is nothing but a compromise, isn't it? So if this brand is now immune to you, then you change the other brand, you know. You just like go on changing, this medicine is not now working. Either you increase the doses or you change the brand. And now market is available that they go on introducing new and new painkillers, more stronger painkillers. So you go on trying for that, but that is not the answer, that is not the solution. That is why I am saying that if Buddha can be relaxed without any painkiller, then there must be some understanding. We don't look there. See, if one person can be totally healthy without taking any medicine, then the health is possible to every human being. Because we are not separate, we are not different from the other. Basically, it is the same. And that is what I am trying to share, that look to that point. And that needs a lot of courage to inquire, courage to see your own ugly face that you are suppressing, you are hiding somewhere. And that courage you need to accept that I am this. I am the way I am. I have this ugly face also, a beautiful face also. So don't run away from the ugly face, accept that I am the combination of both. That needs a lot of courage. So that is required, and that courage comes through the understanding that it's okay, it is there.
You can't do otherwise.
That is a part of understanding. Otherwise, you all the time you think that there is a possible way that one day I will get rid of this ugly face. So in the meantime, let me hide it, let me try to suppress it. And there are a lot of means available to suppress, to hide. That's all. Escape. Are you not tired of all this? My question is, I got so tired, I tell you. And then I said that if there is no answer, if there is no solution, and if the life is a suffering, why I'm having that strong feel inside that there is a way, there is a possible way. You see, nobody is questioning this because nobody is tired of it. Are you not tired of your suffering? That this is the way life is? Not the outer life, the inner life that we live. You see, inner life of tension, inner life of stress, inner life of pain and suffering. How can it be? Okay, I understand the outside life creates the natural reaction, which is pain, which is maybe, but that comes and goes. But this is a permanent thing that we carry. And that suffocates your inner consciousness. And then there is a cry from inside to be free. I want to be free. But you don't know what freedom means. And that puts you into such a strong search here and there, you see, that where it is, who will give me, who will help me. But then everybody is in the same thing. So then we get a consolation that I am not the only suffering person, everybody is suffering, so it's okay. And the spiritual suffering is the worst. The material suffering can be solved, but spiritual suffering is worst. You are keeping such a huge goal of enlightenment, of freedom from this misery and suffering. It's a spiritual goal. It makes you so miserable, more and more miserable. Because there is no way that you have only 1% or 2% chance to get something. You are the same all the time. Let us be very, very honest, you see. It's the reality, it's a truth. But we don't show it because if I show it, what will happen to my investment? So many years of investment I did in all these techniques and methods and meditations. Nobody has that courage to say that the king is naked. You remember the story? The child shouts from the crowd that the king is naked. But all the people who were appreciating the clothes of the king, you know. We all appreciate outside, but everybody knows inside that we are all same. That courage you should have, and that courageous people can be free. You need to have that courage to speak that I am the same. To raise your voice that I did everything but nothing changed. Don't go with that self-hypnosis. If you have that courage, then there is a possible way. The path into this life for achieving or reaching or becoming, instead of that, just to be into that state of happiness needs a lot of courage. And this is the path for the courageous people. I hope I make it clear. If you look to the spiritual world, you will find all escapists. All escapist people. You will not find one single courageous person. It's very painful. It's sad.
It means they always want to be somewhere else than where they are now. Right?
Yes. And this is what all the masters, real masters, are trying to wake you up to this fact, this reality. That please wake up and look, wake up and see that what is the truth, what is the reality. But we misunderstand that truth means I am Brahman, I am Paramatman, I am that blissful state, I am that silent state. You misunderstand the whole thing. You are, but that is not something that you can create as a goal. When we read, when we listen, Osho or anybody, they speak the truth, but we immediately misunderstand and create that statement as if it is a part of achievement, to reach, to achieve, to become. They are describing the natural state, but we misunderstand and immediately mind grasp it. Such a beautiful state, let me try, let me get it. You misunderstand immediately. Then you ask how to get it, how to reach, how to achieve. You are caught. You have to ask how I am not. Instead of how I can get, you have to ask why I am not. That is the right way. Why I am not happy, why I am not in that state.
Because when I look at all that, after all, I'm only left with frustration.
Yes, but that frustration is needed, because then you find your own helplessness inside. Then you will come to the right point. Then you will come to the right point. Or somewhere you are lucky enough to get somebody who can give you the right understanding at that point when you are frustrated. See.
Yesterday I was so frustrated. I said, I will never come back here again. For what? To have Kiran tell me how it is, why I should hear it from him. Right?
Right. And still you
Then
came
in
back.
the evening I was so angry, but I watched it and it slowly dropped by itself. But this frustration is just not...
You have to confront, and that needs a courage to see your own frustration, to accept your own frustration.
So my feet again carry me here today. In the morning I said, I'm not going. For what?
Right.
But in the afternoon I felt good. I said, let's have a look. So to sit with the frustration.
Is to accept the frustration.
Yes.
then the moment you accept the frustration, you will be relaxed. Then you are first aware of the frustration. Then when you become aware of the frustration, it will slowly dissolve, because now you are not doing anything to the frustration. It will dissolve by itself.
Can you speak more of this courage?
What do you mean by I speak more about courage? Courage is the inner strong strength to see or to long for something which you want really seriously, to do it or to understand it. That's the courage. Courage has nothing to do with mind. I am not saying that you should have a courageous mind. Nothing to do with mind. Courage comes when you have some understanding of where you have gone wrong. When you understand that where you have gone wrong, automatically there is a confidence and courage which comes to take a step into the direction of right. So that understanding itself is the confidence and the courage. Courage means not to prepare yourself to fight, but prepare yourself to stand alone. Some people are young with the body and old with the mind. If you see in India, it is the reverse situation. You meet young people, they are speaking the language of the old man. See, they do not want to do anything in the life, they have no ambition, they have no desire.